All right, so what's up, you guys? My name is Josh, and welcome back to another video. Today, we're gonna be doing part three of my discussion on my thoughts on Playmates Toys owning the rights to create Godzilla merchandise and all that. So, just to give you guys a little recap, my first video that I did about this, I talked about my personal opinions because apparently, a couple of pictures leaked online talking about how Playmate and certain Walmarts, not all Walmarts, but in some Walmarts, they already started to release a couple of these new Godzilla toys. Now, this was back in near the end of December. I found out exactly on Christmas Day that Playmates was going to be releasing these toys, and I was pretty shocked. And, obviously the reception was not too good. Like, these toys got huge backlash that there was like, oh, these toys look like shit. They look like bootlegs. Oh, look at Shin Godzilla and all that. So obviously, there was a lot of negativity going on with this. So in my second video, I talked about how now people were saying that Playmates was stealing from other companies, and I talked about specifically Shin Godzilla. A lot of people say that they stole the sculpting from NECA, and then I even talked about my opinion about that too. And I talked about how that I do not think that that is true. Obviously, Playmates, they've never created Godzilla toys before, so they need a little bit, of some help. I don't think they were stealing from NECA. I think they just try to at least get it as accurate as possible, even if it doesn't turn out the way they want it. But, long story short, I even talked about how I'm not going to really win this argument. I honestly think that, no matter how many times I convince people, I don't think, people are going to try and look into it. Like I say, I'm not telling you to go buy the toys. I'm just saying at least try to look at them for yourself based on your opinion if they're really crap or not. Because you can't just look at something and be like, what is this shit? You got to at least kind of look at it first. I mean, we need to like see it, like, and like feel it, and kind of see if this is really true or not. So, I even talked about too, if I ever find any at my Walmart, I will at least buy one. I have enough to at least buy one, right? You know. So today, what I'm going to be talking about, it's kind of a big deal, sort of. Like, what I'm about to say right now, this might actually change everything that has to do with Playmates. And I'm not joking about this. I'm honestly not. I found out about this too when I was doing my part two talk, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to fit that all in one video. So I was like, you know what? Let me do a part three, and I'll talk about it right here because I'm gonna say it right now. Whether we like this, whether we like what Playmates is doing or not, they're actually here to stay. They're not gonna be going away anytime soon. Because as weird as this might sound, I think, I don't know if this is true, but I'm very positive. I think Playmates now actually have the right to create just Godzilla toys in general. Like, they have like the official license. They have, they could do Bandai figures. Like, okay. Here's what I'm trying to say. A couple of images did pop up online showing that Playmates was re-releasing some of Bandai's old Godzilla toys. They were going to be releasing 1954 Godzilla, Mecha Godzilla, 2001 King Ghidorah, and Millennial Godzilla. And they're not brand new sculpts. These are not completely different figures. It's not like that. It's these are actually like the legit same figures that Bandai has made from their toy line from Bandai Creation, and Playmates now have the rights to those toys. So now they are re-releasing them, and to top it all off, they're also going to be re-releasing other old figures from Bandai. And these are not brand new. Like, Playmates didn't make them themselves. They didn't sculpt it. They didn't have a whole team. These are the exact same toys that we saw with Bandai. So after seeing that, that got me thinking. That means that Playmates have the full rights. That means that they're going to be the ones making the Godzilla toys, but they're actually like kind of permanent. These are not, it's not like Jack Specific. It's not like last year where 2019, where Jack Specific owned the rights to create Godzilla toys. But that was only temporary. That was not a permanent thing. Why do you think we barely got anything with Jack Pacific? Of course, that was not going to be forever. That was only for the movie. And this year we got a new Godzilla movie coming up. It was originally supposed to come out in March, but now it got delayed to November. So, like I thought this was only going to be a temporary thing. So when I saw these toys, I try not to make too big of a deal about it. But the more I look into it, and there's a lot more with these figures going on than I thought. So I was like, I already said it, but they're here to stay, guys. Whether you like these toys or not, this is going to be like the big deal. Like they're here. They're the ones in charge. They're going to be making the toys. Who knows how long that this is going to last for, honestly. And, long story short, how do people react? They say that Playmates is stealing. Of course, they say now they're stealing from Bandai. Like, bro, enough. Like, I am so sick and tired of hearing this thing with Playmates stealing. Oh, they're stealing from NECA. Now they're stealing from Bandai. Heck, I even found one person talking about King Kong. He's talking about how the Kong figure was also stolen from another company, and I was like, oh my god, bro, no more. I don't want to hear no more of this stealing shit, honestly. Playmates they're not stealing. They have the rights to make these toys now. That's how it works with a company. When they own rights like this and they own the entire thing, that's kind of a big deal. Not a lot of companies are able to kind of do that, though. And you're probably thinking, Josh, what do you know? You don't know nothing. They probably are stealing. And yes, I mentioned it in my last video. They probably are stealing, but we don't know. We don't know nothing about these toys. There's no information. There's no website supporting this. There's nothing. These things just came out of nowhere, and they're all over different Walmarts across the U.S., man. There's no information. So we only have to go by the pictures. But nobody's really, really wanting to kind of look at it because these toys look like crap. Okay, I get it. They look like shit, all right? I get it. They look like bootlegs. I understand. I talked about in my first video that Shin Godzilla, he looks whack as hell. I don't think Shin Godzilla is that bad. I get it. Playmates, they're not a perfect company, but at least they're trying. At least they're trying. Maybe trying a little bit too hard, but at least they're somewhat trying to get out there with what they can. Because Playmates Toys has never made Godzilla toys before. Never. They've done King Kong before, but never Godzilla toys. This is their first time. And I talked about how I want to give them a chance. But everybody on the internet is like, oh, don't buy these. They're not worth it. Like, give people a fucking chance. Let them see it for themselves if it's truly crap or not. Because maybe I'll buy one and maybe it is crap. Maybe, and okay, that'll be the end of the entire discussion. I don't talk about these no more. That's all. But still, man, this thing, whatever happened to giving people a chance? I get it. They look weird, but I want to actually legit see them. I want to see. I have not gone to Walmart yet. I'm going to hunt these down. I'm going to find them. I'm going to review them. I'm going to see for myself if they truly are crap. I do plan on making reviews on them if I ever find one. So at least we got that going on, But I do want to mention a couple of things first about the whole stealing thing right now. Because the thing with the owning rights to because for a company to own a huge chunk, a huge portion of the line, that's pretty big. And I do have a couple of examples I do want to talk about. They're kind of weird, though. They're kind of weird examples. So just, give or take with, what I'm trying to get at here. So I have one weird example here. You guys know that I'm a huge horror fan. So, like, I have here the Phantasm 5 DVD collection right here. And, yes, Phantasm is a horror movie. I won't really talk about too much what the movies are about. All I'm going to say is that there are 5 movies in the series, but each one of them got their own different situations with different companies. So the first one, I wouldn't say is made independently, but it definitely was made by a company that's like lesser known. Phantasm 2 was made by Universal Studios because they saw some potential within these movies because Phantasm didn't really get the best reception at first. It got bad reviews. but then people kind of look at it and be like, hey, it's a good movie. All right, come on, man. Come on, critics. Let's not do this shit. I mean, let's be fair, man. I mean, Godzilla King of the Monsters was cool, and that got shit views. So, and then, okay, back to this. So, 3 and 4, they kind of had the same situation with the first one, but at least they had a little bit of a bigger budget. But the 5th one was made by Go USA Entertainment. And yes, I don't know too much about this company, and I know you guys don't, but here's what I'm trying to get at here. The fact that they managed to get rights to all 5 films, that's actually pretty good. That's like, because they don't completely have the rights to this whole franchise. Now, I took the DVDs out because they're kind of a hassle to take, So here's a couple of examples right here. You see, okay, I got the first Phantasm. Oh, sorry about that. You see, I got the first Phantasm right here. Bruh, I don't even know what I did with the second one. Okay, so yeah, the second one is made by Universal, so it has a much pretty different art for the discs. You see, this is part 3, this is part 4, and this is part 5, as you can see here. Now, if you look at the disc, if I can find it, if you look at the discs for part 2, it has a very completely different style to it. It is nothing like the one with Go USA. That's because that specific one was made by Scream Factory, and it's a company that specifically releases DVDs, horror movies, but like, remastered and has a whole ton of special features. They don't have that, so it's kind of like the odd man out. You know what I'm saying? That disc is from an entirely different company. Honestly, I just had it with me a few minutes ago. I was kind of in a rush to get this live stream done because my batteries are low on my laptop, so I apologize if I don't have it. But that's okay, because I do have another example. But the reason why I mentioned the thing with Phantasm and the discs is because you see how a random-ass company that we never even heard of before, they got rights to all the films, not counting that they were all made by different companies. That's pretty impressive in my book. Another example that I do have here is the Chucky Killer DVD collection. It includes Child's Play 2, 3, and then includes 4 and 5. But before I move on, let me just mention, this was before 6 and 7 came out. So that's why they're not in here. But you notice how they don't got the first one. That's because the first one was made by MGM. But that's funny because Universal is an MGM company. But you see what I'm talking about, the thing with the rights? Because all the Child's Play movies, except for the first one and the remake, all of them were made by Universal Studios. So they all got their own thing going on there. But the first Chucky movie and the remake is made by MGM. Even though Universal and MGM are basically the same, you see how the rights are kind of conflicted with each other? Like, you can't get the entire collection. They're kind of separate. The exact same thing with the Friday the 13th movies. Now, that is a perfect example because the first 8 movies were made by Paramount Studios, while the last 4, Jason Goes to Hell, Jason X, Freddy vs. Jason, and the reboot of Friday the 13th, they were all made by New Line Cinema. So, you couldn't really get all the movies in one collection. They're all kind of separate. So you could kind of see how the companies kind of do their thing sometimes there. This one does it separate. Phantasm combines all the movies, while Child's Play and the Friday the 13th franchise does it separate. The exact same thing can be said with the Ninja Turtle movies. The originals. The original 3 was made by New Line Cinema. The 4th one was made by Warner Brothers, but that's weird because Warner Brothers and New Line Cinema are actually kind of one and the same. It's a New Line Cinema, it's a Warner Brothers company, and Warner Brothers company is a New Line Cinema company. So, despite the different companies, while I'm saying companies a lot in this video, this is whack, man. Despite them being different, they kind of still work together a little bit because they do have a collection where you could buy the original 4. Despite the one with Warner Brothers being a little bit different. But the thing is, you get the same thing happen. The same thing kind of happens with the Michael Bay Ninja Turtle movies. They were both made by Paramount, but you don't see all of them in one collection. So they see they're kind of separate. So you see, each company kind of had their own different things going on. It's all about rights and it's all about money. Now, I don't like to make things about money, but let's be honest, that's kind of true, man. You know, that's how these companies do their things, man. Got to produce these movies out, hope to get a little bit of money, and there you go, fair share, right? It's like that incident with Spider-Man, right? With Sony and Disney trying to own the rights. All that shit was about money. Like, come on, people. So, the fact that Playmates Toys is able to own a lot of these Bandai products, that's why I personally find it a big deal. And it is a big deal. Because we're talking about the merchandise here. We're talking about Godzilla, man. You don't see a lot of merchandise about this dude here in America. Godzilla is so conflicted, man. It's like, I get it. He's more popular in Japan. Nobody really gives a fuck about him here in America. But still, you know what I'm saying? That's a pretty big deal in my book, To make things even more crazier, there were even more leaks online. Apparently, not pictures, but apparently Playmates do plan on releasing even more Godzilla toys, people. Some of these are from Bandai. It's not really official if some of these are going to be made by Playmates. Although I will tell you what I did find. They do plan on releasing Gigan. Okay, we all knew that. They were going to make Gigan. They're going to release that. And okay, Destroyer we know. Kong we know. But here's a funny thing, though. There were two new toys that actually did appear in Walmarts. They actually released the Godzilla 2004 Godzilla from Godzilla Final Wars, and they released a 12-inch version. Same for Kong. They made a 12-inch Kong, and those are both new toys that are apparently being released in Walmarts also. But these are apparently getting released earlier because they're supposed to be released kind of later, which I found pretty interesting. Another thing I want to add on is that there was like a whole weird list of like different toys. So it did mention Gigan, but you want to know what else I found? You guys are not going to believe this. You want to know what else I found? They actually plan on actually releasing Jet Jaguar. And if you don't know who Jet Jaguar is, then obviously you don't watch Godzilla, but I'm not saying that in a bad way. Jet Jaguar is a classic character from the Showa era, man. He appeared in Godzilla vs. Megalon. That movie used to be known as the second worst film in the series. I mean, personally, I like it, but that's what people used to say. That's kind of a big deal, though. You know how rare it is to find a Jet Jaguar figure? And if you guys don't know who that is, he's like this giant robot that kind of helps Godzilla fight against Megalon. Megalon, he's like a giant weird cockroach thing that has like drills for hands. The more I think about it, I should probably review those films because I always do toy reviews. Should I do movie reviews? Let me stick to one conversation at a time. They're going to be releasing a whole bunch more. They do plan on releasing even more different versions of Godzillas. But as of now, it's kind of unknown if these are going to be like from Bandai or if they're going to be made by Playmates. Because if I'm being honest with you, I think Playmates kind of knew about this backlash that they were going to get. Because a lot of these figures that they're going to release, most of these are from Bandai. But for all we know, they're going to be made by Playmates. But we don't know. So, I think what happened is that now they own the rights and they're going to release them. So they thought, let's make a couple of figures of our own, But they did. And obviously, we all know how that ended. That did not end well. As I'm talking right now, obviously, you guys are still thinking, but these toys are crap. And, there's no hope for these, and all that. But like I say, the whole point of this video is that I'm talking about how I think that, there's some positivity within these toys. I think that you could still kind of enjoy them no matter how weird looking they are. And people, I'm going to say a couple of things before I end the video here. Actually, I have a lot of things to say before I end the video. That, these are made, guys, these are made for children. These are made for kids. Who gives a fuck if we don't like them or not? Even if we pull out our criticisms and talk about how weird they are, we're not the target audience. We're just, I'm not trying to do like damage control. I'm just giving my honest opinion, my full honest opinion that I want to give these toys a chance. And I'm willing to do that. Not just because I've been buying Playmates toys products for a long time, but because I see some potential. They can actually do some big things here. They're going to be releasing classic characters, man, from the old days of Godzilla. They got a chance here, right? I know that they're kind of fucking it up a little bit, but I still see maybe something going on with this. You know, we might get something out of this. We just kind of got to wait. We need to be patient. We need to see how this works out. Who knows? Maybe these toys are going to be full of crap, or maybe maybe some people will be like in the middle, because there are some people online who are like in the middle. Like the thing with Shin Godzilla, I made a mistake in my last video. It wasn't Reddit. It was on the Toho Kingdom website or whatever it was. And there were actually some people saying that stop it, they're not stealing. You know, we gotta see the damn figure first. And I was like, somebody with a fucking brain, man. You know, is that, we gotta, we like I'm just saying though, it's okay to criticize. We all have an opinion, but we gotta at least just kind of sit down and think first a little bit, and to see if this stuff is actually true or not. You know, so with Playmates owning the rights to Bandai, so you know what that means, right? You see all the stuff I got in the back. Well, that's gonna be part of the collection, and let me tell you, I do not have room. I mean, I don't care. I'm still gonna buy it, but still, yeah. So that should kind of end my this is where I kind of end my discussion. I don't really have anything else to say about this. This is gonna be like my last message about this. Like, let's just see what happens first. You know, I seriously doubt I'm gonna make a part 4 about this discussion. I don't think I will. I don't really know. I mean, unless you guys want to, but I don't really see a reason to do a part 4 discussion. The only times that I'm going to be talking about these toys is when I actually see them and start to review them and kind of see how they're really like, their quality, and to see if it's top notch or if it's just horse shit. There's that going on there. Yeah, so hopefully when I check some of them out, I'm not gonna promise that I'm gonna get all of them, of course, because I don't got the money for that. I got money to at least buy one or two, but that's pretty much it. I wasted pretty much all my Christmas money already. One last thing I do want to mention. I will, I know that some of you guys want to see some Ultraman stuff because I'm a huge Ultraman fan too, and I know I haven't done anything in a while, but I do plan on making a video sometime this week. I might review either Ultraman Ginga or Ultraman Zero. So that's another video that I have for this week. Wow, this is a long stream. Let me tell you, this is the longest video I've done so far. So I want to thank you guys for kind of joining in. Hope you liked the video. Subscribe, whatever. And like I say, I don't think I need to make a part 4 about this discussion. I think I'm done just for now, and I will do my full criticism on the toys once I get them. So until then, I'll see you guys later this week. Peace out and done.